as I was saying in video number 1, simple is effective and the basics done really well is effective. Trying to clownify your training because of InstaHo number 286243, whatever, that's not so effective. Like, if you think about what I mentioned in my previous video, having the basics and actually having a plan from A to B with set, like, it spans multiple weeks, and being bored of something, like, you can change things up and clownify your workouts. You can try and do your little stepping down, pull down thingies, or do your silly, like, kickback things like this, and the little crazy things I see like this. It's like, what are you working by doing squats like this, or like this, or weird whatever? I don't know. I don't know what they do, but how is that effective, and how are you able to progress that? And a lot of the booty workouts you see aren't actually providing enough stimulus to grow the muscle. Like, yeah, you can activate it, yeah, you can do finishes, but you need overall progressive overload. You need to tear the muscle up. Like I said before when I did a post on when you break a bone and it sometimes grows stronger at that place of break. Same too with muscle. Like, when you rip that muscle, it's going to need to grow itself back stronger so that the next time you inflict the same amount of intensity or force on it, it's going to be able to handle it. So simple is effective. Basics done really well, super effective. Like, you need to make sure you have a squat, a hinge, a lunge, a push, a pull, and a carry. Carries aren't completely necessary, but they're very, like, it's a very functional thing for your core, like farmers walks. That's like stability, stuff like that. So just something to keep in mind, because people often try, like, if you look at someone's training program that, like, they made up themselves or they pull off the internet or something, they often try to accomplish too much in one block of training. Like, I have people saying, I want to enhance my legs and I want to enhance my delts, and I also want a little bit more of my upper pecs. Oh, and speaking of, I need some more thickness in my back. People try to accomplish too much in one block of training, and you can't improve everything all at once. Because if you think of it like a battery, every muscle group has its own maximal recoverable volume. But then your whole body itself, including all the stresses you get from the environment, all the stresses you get from everything else, relationships, friggin' your diet, depending if you're in a surplus or a deficit, your work, decision fatigue, all of that other crap, like, all of that adds up to your systemic fatigue. And that is something really important to consider, because your systemic fatigue is like your whole system's like this. Like, you could have your muscle groups here summing up to their recoverable volumes, but at the same time, how much can you ideally recover from in a week? How many training sessions can you ideally get into a week and not feel like shit and not have it take away from your day-to-day activities? Because trying to improve everything all at once, realize you can only give 100% to a few things at once, given that you actually have a life. You're not getting paid to train. You're not getting a trophy for spending the most time in the gym. Well, that's what he has. My hair tie. Ha! Cookie. You don't live in the gym. And even if you did live in the gym, how much hypothetically speaking, how much time can you actually put into the gym and give 100%? Like, we all know that once you get into the gym, the first few exercises, if that, are the ones where you're actually giving 100%. Anything after that, you realize that your work capacity, your work effort, your work intensity actually goes down. Especially if you're doing a typical bro split, which is why I don't do bro splits, because you can't give like 100% to legs at the very start of a session, at the end of the session, which is why most of the time I don't incorporate the same body parts exercise after exercise, because you're not going to be giving 500% to exercise number 3 of legs the same way that you gave to exercise number 1 of legs kind of thing. So I do try to break them up a little, but you need to know what your main focus is for that block of training, what that one thing is, or maybe 2 things, 3 things maximum that you want to bring up in that block of training and focus all in on them. Because there is not only that local fatigue of muscle maximal recoverable volume, but there is also that systemic recoverable volume, your whole body volume, the sum of all parts. Meaning, if you are taking a chunk out of everything, your whole system will be ringing the alarm bell before your muscles even reach their particular peak, before you can actually get the most you can out of what you want to enhance. So for example, you're not going to be able to fully develop your back and your quads and your delts and your upper chest all at once. Like before you actually get to the peak of being able to enhance them beyond what they were before, your body is going to be ringing the alarm bell saying, I'm tired, I need a break, blah, blah, blah. And like, you're not giving yourself the best chance you can at enhancing that. So my tips are focus on what is important to you now. Stronger, bigger, or leaner. Like, figure out what it is that you want in this one block of training. Weaknesses you want to work on, so on. And always figure out what it is that you enjoy doing so that you can mix in what you need, mostly, and sprinkle in what you want. So you want the bulk of what you need, sprinkle in what you want and what you enjoy doing so that you can actually enjoy it, but you're doing what you need to do. Like, people that hate cardio, you kind of need the aerobic adaptations to be able to get the mitochondria and cardiovascular systems working functionally, because cardio adds into your ability to recover between sessions. It shuffles the lactate, the metabolites and all that stuff around your body. Like, it's actually a really good thing. You have your heart. Weight training increases concentric hypertrophy, which is a thickening on the walls. Aerobic training increases the actual ventricles in the heart, which is where you actually can get more blood into it. So if you're just thickening the walls, you're able to like do really massive freaking heartbeats. But where's the blood pumping? So you're having to do lots of little heartbeats, and your heart rate's going to be really freaking high and stressed out to actually get the blood through, because you're not pumping a lot of blood out because the ventricles are so small. So then the aerobic training is able to eccentrically grow that chamber of the heart so that, yeah, you're thickening the wall and pushing a shitload of blood through because the ventricle's bigger. So I hope that makes sense. So yeah, mix in what you need with what you want and you have a winner. But you need to earn the want. You need to earn it. Then you can put it into action for a really good mesocycle, and voila, we have markers of progression. Sure, it might feel good that you worked and sweated and whatever the hell else, hit random PRs for Instagram, Facebook here and there. You may have a killer pump in for the gram, for the photos, for the lighting, for whatever else. But how do you really know you're making progress and not just looking the same year to year? Because you all know that guy, like I mentioned before, that walks in. You probably saw him last year looking the same. Probably he looked better last year because he's just digging in the same grave right now. So make sure you're tracking measurable and achievable markers of progression, like weight on the bar, volume, feels, mind-muscle connection, all those type of goodies, qualitative and quantitative. And like I say time and time again, progress needs that qualitative measure as well. It's not just quantitative. We aren't defined purely by numbers. Our body doesn't live in a vacuum, and we don't live a linear life. We go up and down in cycles all the time. The qualitative leads to the quantitative further down the track. So all the work that I've been putting in right now has led, like, if you watch body compositions change over time, that's from the work you've put in prior to get to where you are now. So if you're looking at Jimmy Doe do whatever he's doing in the gym right now, that's not what got him the body he has now. It's what he's been doing the months and years prior to that that's got him to where he is now. Just some food for thought. Love you all, and I hope that helped a little.